What is up, everybody? This is episode number 27 of ESO Recapped. My name is Defatank. Got some big episode here for you guys tonight. This is coming from yesterday. ZeniMax Online Studios went to Dallas, Texas for Quakecon 2014, and they have brought us some brand new information coming about the game. Some stuff that we just really didn't see coming. Really in-depth stuff, and tonight that's basically what I'm going to focus on. Is going to be the Quakecon 2014 video that came out yesterday, live stream. We're going to go through this video, take a look at all of the stuff that ZeniMax went over. Had a very big panel of members from ZeniMax Online Studios, and I'll go over all their names and what they do and things like that. So this episode is definitely going to be a long one, and I don't really want to rush through this one. I want to get through this and dig deep into what they're talking about. This is basically what is Elder Scrolls Online got for it in the future, what is coming. And this is just stuff that's coming up shortly and stuff that's coming up in the future, distant future. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this thing. And like I said, buckle up, sit back, because it's going to be a big episode. First up, we had Brian Willer, who took the stage, and Brian Willer is the PvP man. He is the lead PvP developer, and he went in to talk about stuff coming to Cyrodiil and some of the changes to Cyrodiil. So first, we've got the Imperial City. The Imperial City is going to be in the middle of the zone. If you guys have not seen it yet, it's surrounded by water. It's protected by Daedra and things like that fighting you off. You can't get into it right now. But with new updates coming whenever they release the Imperial City, what can we see? Imperial City is going to be a PvE and a PvP zone. As you can see here, it is unlocked by Cyrodiil Keep ownership. It's also, you're going to be fighting to rid the city of Molag Bal's plane meld. You're going to also be fighting against enemy players from other factions, and you also fight for control over districts of the Imperial City. So that's some of the stuff that you can expect to see inside of Imperial City when you get in. Now, something to note about capturing districts of the city is you will be able to get a lot of rewards for it, and you can even respawn in these districts as well. Next is at 7 minutes and 35 seconds. We've got rewards. What can you look at as far as rewards for the system? Well, you're going to have repeatable quests with high gold and XP rewards. This thing's going to hang on me. Just a second while I get this video sorted out.
Course, something that's a really big.
There we go. So we got rewards, and you can expect repeatable quests with high amounts of gold and XP rewards, unique bosses and mini bosses. There's going to be craftable Imperial Daedric gear. Now you're going to see this gear later on as I go through this this episode. So that's just a new style of gear, one of the new styles of gear that's coming. And the next thing is, okay, just what all is going on inside of the Imperial City. And I'm going to let part of this play as I go through this. So this is some video from Quakecon. First off, what's going on inside of Icecrown Citadel? Well, first, under the Arena District, that's what you're seeing right now. Daedra has basically taken over the Arena District, and they've taken the Imperials inside of Icecrown, listen to me, Imperial City, and they're throwing them into this arena to fight, like gladiatorial games. Next is going to be the Arboretum District. I know I didn't say that right. It's not completely taken over by Daedra yet, but it's well on its way. You can expect to see, trees and things like that. So it's not completely taken over by Daedra at this time. You're working to try to keep Daedra out of it, so you're going to be fighting them off. Next is going to be the Market District. And what's really unique about the Market District, of course, like I said earlier, you're fighting for control over these districts, but the Market District is going to bring something unique in the aspect that, yes, you control it, but it's also going to be a place where you can go and create this Imperial Daedric gear. So you're going to have to control the Arboretum. Thank you. You're going to have to control the Market District, it looks like, to be able to go in and craft this Imperial Daedric gear. So that's pretty unique in that aspect, and it brings some PvP to the table for trying to create this armor. Next is going to be the Temple District, and that's coming up right now. And the Temple District, if you remember, comes from the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, of course. It's where what's his name? Martin Septim turned into the Akatosh and all this stuff and fought off the Daedra Lord. Cannot remember his name right now to save my life. Everybody's probably sitting there yelling at the screen, "Oh, I gotta know it." I'll think of it in a minute. But you know what I'm talking about if you played Oblivion. It is the Temple of the One. That's what you're looking at. And this is where Daedra are trying to start the plane meld. That's what you're seeing. That's what they're working on there. So how do you get in? And this is something that's really cool. How do you get into all this? How do you get into the Imperial City? Well, they're making it just like it was when you came out of the sewers to get into Oblivion, leaving the Imperial City. That's the way you get in ESO. They want you to go back through what you've seen before, getting out of the sewers in Oblivion. You're doing the same thing. And what's unique about the sewers, and this is something that's really, really cool, each alliance will have its own... Mehrunes Dagon, thank you. Mehrunes Dagon. I knew somebody would get it. That's the Daedra I was talking about. But each alliance will have its own entry into the sewers. It's going to be safe. So that you don't just get body camped, basically. So you're going to have your own entries into the sewers. Now, as you fight your way into further into the sewers, you're, of course, going to have battles going on. And you get into the middle, and that's where you're going to have all three alliances that meet up with one another. And what you're looking at here is just the Daggerfall entry. That's what I was talking about. Each alliance will have its own entry into this. So DC's got theirs, AD has theirs, EP has their entries into the sewers. There we go. Really, really cool looking area as you're going through this stuff. Now, keep in mind, this is the Daggerfall entry. This is not the center that I'm talking about. When you get into the center, you're going to have all three alliances meeting up, fighting one another, and then there's also going to be portals that spawn. And this is the middle they call the crossroads. Now, in the middle of this, you've got portals that spawn in, and Daedric is coming out of these things. Instead of like the Dark Anchors coming down, you've got portals spawning underneath that these Daedra are pouring out of. And you're going to see some new monsters coming into play as well. Right there's one of them. Really awesome looking stuff. And then if you remember the big guys, yeah, from the cinematics, really, really cool stuff. So, yeah, that's going to be awesome to see this this come into play. So that's what's coming for Cyrodiil and the changes coming up. That's just, you know, a future look at what's coming. Now, next up, we had Rich Lambert that took the stage. And Rich Lambert, he is the content lead. He is the guy pretty much tries to direct where we're going just content-wise with the game. And he took on some very, very difficult issues that's going on. Number one, phasing. It's a huge issue that a lot of people has been having. You know, not being able to play with people. This is something that they are going to be addressing. They are going to get it fixed. They have plans out to get it fixed. And that's going to be rolling out in the future. Now, 5 initiatives underway to improving the game. They're going to be fixing quests. How are they going to fix this phasing stuff? They're going to fix quests so that players are not separated so often. You're going to have more quests that have shared advancement. You're always going to be able to sync with your group leader. So wherever you go in, your group leader, you can tell where he's at and where you need to be caught up from, and you're going to be able to sync up with him and play. journal and quest tracking to show common quests, and then confirmation for quest sharing, whether it's successful or failure. So that's some really good changes trying to resolve this phasing issue that we've been seeing. The next thing that he goes into, he's talking about City of Ash. This is a new veteran rank dungeon that's coming up in update 5.
That's what I think. 5.
Do what now?
You are correct.
Yeah, update 5 is when you're going to see City of Ash. You may remember doing City of Ash, the normal mode. This is what veteran rank City of Ash looks like. Update 5 probably will be out September or October. Probably October is when we're looking at update 5 to come out, if they keep on the path that they're going. So some really cool stuff that's coming in here for City of Ash. I can't remember the exact story that they told. I'm going to put the link in for this full video in case anybody wants to go back and watch the full video. I'm just trying to get the core information for this stuff right now. But that's what you can expect for veteran rank City of Ash. Looks really, really promising. Next thing that he went into, and there's Rich up there on stage right now. Really cool dude. Next thing he went into was dungeons, and this is something that did need to be addressed as well. A lot of people not being able to go back and finish dungeons that they started or skipped over or whatever it may be. They can't go back and do them because they out-leveled them. There's no challenge there, things like that. And that's the next thing that Rich went over. Was how do you solve this dungeon problem? Well, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to be scaling dungeon levels to the group leader. This includes monsters, items, XP, and gold. Next, solo instant difficulty will scale to you. So whenever you go into a solo dungeon, it's going to level to your character. So you got that challenge there. And that's really, really good. And something else that the guys was telling me earlier that they heard in the video is, if you keep just getting owned all the time, these open world dungeons, solo stuff will throttle back a little bit so that you can get through them. I've not really listened to it that close to see if it's there, but the guys said that they did hear that. So I don't have a problem with that. Throttling back a little bit, but that is the solo stuff, not the group stuff. Next, we've got dungeon repeatability. This thing here kind of got some back and forths in the chat a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but what is dungeon repeatability? You got daily dungeon runs. It comes to ESO. And what this is going to mean is follower. You're going to have leverage for the Undaunted. You're going to have new passive skills that come into play. You're going to have daily rewards that come for people that are running these daily dungeons. You're going to be getting keys that you can take back and open up these chests in your capital city that will give you really special gear and also special armors and weapons, things of that sort. So it gives some drive to go back and do the dungeons for a little bit of gear or whatever. So we're just going to have to wait and see how they push this out. But that's the general idea of where they're going is, having a more of a reason, I guess, to run the dungeons other than just going to run them. They're very fun as far as what I see. Next is going to be Craglorn. He also attacked Craglorn here. Let me go up to where that's at. This is a new look at Craglorn that is coming. They're going to be improving itemization, and they're also bringing in a new 12-player trial that's focused around the Serpent. So you're going to see some new monsters that come in. Really, really cool stuff that's coming aboard with an addition to Craglorn. This is going to be just another layer of Craglorn, basically, and that's going to be the last installment to Craglorn as well. And the last thing that he goes over, this is the trial that I was just talking about, the Serpent trial. So we'll let this flow through, and then we'll move on to his last point that he spoke on. The Serpent trial looks really, really cool. That's just some more of the monsters that's in the Serpent trial. Looks like there's probably going to be some poison. I would imagine so. Not a whole lot of information on the new trial or anything like that, but that's just a brief look at that. The last thing that he talks about is going to be the Dragonstar Arena, and this is something that a lot of people got really interested in. And what is the Dragonstar Arena? They basically have made a mini trial out of this. So instead of you having to get 12 people together to go do a big trial like Hellraw Citadel or Aetherian Archive, you can now do the Dragonstar Arena, and it's built for 4 people. And it progressively gets more difficult. It has timed PvE encounters. There is a leaderboard system, and there are 2 difficulty modes with it. So there's just the normal mode that you go through and do it, and then there is a more difficult level. It sounds like that they have tiers. He said like level 15 is like really, really difficult stuff, and it just continuously gets more difficult and gives you better loot for completing this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and let this roll so that you can get a peek at what the Dragonstar Arena looks like. From the way it sounds, it's like waves of stuff that you're going to be fighting against, and yeah, it's kind of like a gauntlet, and you just fight and fight and fight. So I don't know, like, as far as how many lives you get or anything like that. The hard modes, they said that they will throttle back things like your health. I think regeneration maybe was in there. I don't know, but that's just a brief look at the Dragonstar Arena, what they're bringing on board with the Dragonstar Arena.
They said that the hard mode they will do similar to the trials. They will have a death count, and for the revives like trials do. A normal mode will be, just like a dungeon. You go in there, you die as many times as you want to. Just do your best.
There'll also be a leaderboard for hard mode, I think, too.
Yep. This right here is why I got the guys in here with me. I mean, it's hard to get all of this information down. It's 2 hours of just, oh my God, knowledge bombs were dropped hard yesterday. We're going to move on to Jesse McIntyre. Jesse is the lead programmer. This is Jesse here. He does a lot of the back-end technical stuff with coding and things like that. And one thing that he focused on was the facial animations, and this was a thing that I was like, oh my God, huge difference. He shows off like the current build of the game here, and how NPCs, whenever they talk, they don't really move, make any kind of facial expressions. A lot of people wanted to see better facial expressions, and right here you go. This is a side-by-side view. You got Razumdar talking here. This is the current build, and then over here you can see the facial expressions are much, much clearer that you can see. Much more movement in the mouth, so very, very good improvement there whenever it comes to the expressions. And this is something that they're still working on, but it will be coming out. And just some facts about ESO and the dialogue. That's something I've always said. Listen to the dialogue. Awesome story in this game. ESO has 120,000 lines of dialogue that is translated over 3 different languages. That's just amazing. And something along the lines of 1,000 lines of dialogue is what's in your average film. So tons of work has went in when it comes to the NPCs and what they're saying, and mapping all this stuff against a face to see all this facial expression. Now the next thing we got is Paul Sage. Again, he had to take on some pretty difficult stuff. He's talking about the veteran system and its difficulty. Let's see. While I'm getting up to this, basically we're going to see a 4-phase introduction to the new veteran rank system. Paul Sage, that was him on screen just then. He is the creative game director. Just does a lot with the game. That man, I'm sure, has got a very hectic job. What is the first phase? We've already seen the first phase implemented into the game already. By reducing the veteran rank difficulty. They reduced the 50 plus and the 50 plus plus content. So what is that? Whenever you complete your main storyline, you get veteran rank 1, you go into the enemy's territory, and for Ebonheart Pack, your next territory is Daggerfall Covenant, then you go to Altmeri Dominion. They've reduced that difficulty so that you can more solo those zones. They've not done anything to the group dungeons and stuff like that, so instance dungeons. Now the open world dungeons, those did get a little bit easier for people to be able to go through and solo those. So that was phase 1 of the system that they was changing. The next thing is they're getting rid of veteran points. Veteran points. Veteran rank is not going anywhere. They're keeping veteran rank. Instead of them using the veteran points, they're going to now be using XP. So as you get XP, that's what's going to drive your veteran rank and increase it. The second phase that I was just talking about, removal of veteran points. And I'm going to pause it right here before everybody's like, oh my god, what is this? The XP change and stuff, removal of veteran points, that's going in with probably update 1.4. That's going to be late August, September-ish, somewhere around in there. 4 to 6 weeks. So look for it August, September. If I had to guess, probably September is when we'll see that. But that's going to be update 4 is where they're planning on dropping this in. Next, what you're looking at right here is the champion system. This is going to be the next installment. And guys, do you know if they've given an update when this is going to be dropped? Is it 5, 6?
No.
The champion system, they haven't done.
Does they even
Haven't really finalized.
I think that they're looking at either update 5 or 6 for the champion system. If I had to guess, probably 6, but we'll see whenever it drops. Saying 5, I don't know. I know it's somewhere around in there. I know that they're back and forth with getting rid of veteran points, possibly update 4. So again, take it with a grain of salt whenever they give these dates. But this looks very, very similar to the system from Skyrim, the Celestial images. So how does this work? Okay, first you will have another screen that pops up. That's what you're looking at here. Looks like the constellations, for example, the tower. You're going to be putting your champion points. Those champion points are earned by getting XP. And this will basically be introducing new passive abilities into the game. Such as, this is some of the examples that they gave. Blade Expert, I'll pause it right here so you guys can read along with this. Blade Expert increases the base damage of any player. Increases the base damage of any player can do with a blade. It does not increase the extra damage from damage type of the blade. Tenacity is another one. Increases total stamina regeneration by a set %. Shock Boost increases damage done by shock and increases shock resistance. And also Persissive Strike, which increases the % on the weapon's crit derive stat. So these are just some examples of what you will see. Now, where does those things come from? That is going to come from these constellations. If you was paying attention there to that previous screen, you're going to see it come back up here in just a second. There's little stars on it that... I'm going to go back to that one here in just a second, that screen. This right here is the system itself. There's like little stars on it that shows passives. These stars are passives that are being introduced. The more stars that you click on, you can keep putting these champion points in, and it will allow you to dig deeper into that tree. Some of the things that you're going to see is like what I just went over just a second ago, and I'm going to go back to that previous screen as well. But here you can see, puts the mouse over, you got Spell Shield. Up here's another extra extraction boost, and as you put that stuff in, it allows him to advance further into this this tree. That is the champion system. You see champions points unspent 7, and there's plenty to choose from around through here as well. And you can keep adding these things in. If we go back a screen just for another example here, this is the unlocks. As you put more points in, say 10 points, you're going to get something called Impatience, a significant increase to chance for forcing locks. 20 points, you'll get Fortune Hunter, which basically gives you gold found in chests is increased. 50 points is Deflection. Blocking now returns a percentage of the mitigation damage on the attacker. And at 100 points invested, you'll see Counter Strike. It's a successful block at lower than 10% health, has a percentage to prevent and return 100% of the damage back on the attacker. It has a 10-minute cooldown. So that's just, again, some of the preview stuff as to what you could see. Next, you're going to have new weapons and armors that become available with this system. That is right up here. This is some of the new weapons and armors, just as an example. And he's given things, think of seasons, like Season 1, Season 2. These armors will become really hard to get for the new season that comes out, but the prior seasons will be more in ease of access to get. Content that was released in previous content will have been around longer, making them more available. Paul Sage said ZOS may sell these items, older items, to players that do not, so that they do not fall behind the item chase, but it still allows for an item chase with the newer stuff. Like, they're not going to be selling the newer stuff. Now, the word selling, does it mean in-game gold, certain points, what? We don't know. I mean, that's just something that has not been clarified, and again, it was a may. So we'll have to wait until more details come out on that. Something else about the champion points that you get, they are account-wide, and they are spent on your characters across the board. You can respec these champion points and reallocate them to whatever character you want, and characters start getting these points at level 50. So that's just some of the stuff coming with the champion system. Really, really cool stuff that's coming out in that aspect. The last thing that he talks about is the justice system, and this is another really, really good addition to the game. You see him here, he goes in and starts stealthing, and now instead of just going in and picking stuff up from these baskets, you have a chance to be detected for stealth, or stealing, I should say. If you are detected for stealing and somebody reports it, you get a bounty on your head. So you can't just go in and collect mats laying around and all this stuff. You got to stealth and try to get them. They are worth gold, but stolen items, if you look right there, this item is stolen. So you cannot sell this item to any vendor. You have to go outside of the city and find fences to be able to sell these items to them. So you can stealth around in the city, steal items, and then go outside of the city and sell them for gold if you can manage to do that. But getting caught will raise that bounty, and you're going to see that happen here in just a second. He goes up to try to steal something out of a crate, and you can see he's just got a little bit being seen, and he goes to steal, and of course the guard looks over, hey, what are you doing? And he can pay the bounty or flee, and if he decides to flee, he's now in combat with that guard and can possibly die. We've not gotten a ton of information out of this yet with the justice system. This is just our first look at it. But something else that is going to be introduced with the justice system is going to be this. And this is cool. You got this NPC walking over, and he's dead. So yes, you can kill NPCs now. And ZeniMax encourages it. You know, just go ahead and kill NPCs. If that's what you want to do, you can go on a mass murdering spree, and that's what you're seeing right now. He's just stealthing around the town, just committing murders. And as you do more stealing and killing and things like that, like this, it's going to push your bounty further and further up. And here's going to be the additional kicker as well. As your bounty increases, it's not just NPC guards that are looking for you. You will have players that can get bounties against you and look for you and kill you. And eventually you will become your bounty so high that you are just kill on sight, period. There is no pay bounty. Right now he can pay a 17,000 gold bounty to that guard or fight him and run. And as you can see, he will eventually get killed here, but he fights against the guard. But there is a thing to where it gets so high, it's just you're kill on sight, period. You got to die. And they went and looked at how long does it take for that to go away. You know, they don't want it to where anybody can just instantly reset it, you know, go away out of town for 5 minutes and they're fine. They didn't give time frames of how long it takes to reset this bounty, but it will be able to be reset over time. So that's what Paul Sage covered. Very, very cool stuff coming with the champion system and the justice system. Next, we got Nick Konkle, who took the stage. And Nick Konkle, this is Nick Konkle here. He talks about a really cool system that's coming to the game called Spellcrafting. And by this time in the the episode or the stream, I was so ripped on information. I had to go back and watch this, and I did invest some time in looking into spellcrafting, and I got a really good understanding of it. So let's get the facts about spellcrafting and dig into it, because this is a really, really cool system that's coming into the game. Spellcrafting is tied in with the Mages Guild. I'm going to jump this forward just a little bit. Right about here. We'll let it roll from here. It's tied in with the Mages Guild. It can be done after completing the Mages Guild questline. So, alright, it's playing. After you complete the Mages Guild questline, you start getting this stuff that there's secret doors. And you get a spell that you're going to see come up here in just a minute that you can cast, and this will summon a blue orb. And this orb is faster than you. Let me back it up here. This orb is faster than you, but you chase after this orb, and it leaves like a little sparkly trail behind it as it's going away, but eventually it'll get so far ahead of it you can't see it, but it will always go to where these secret doors are. So you just randomly in the world, you cast this spell, it takes off, and you start chasing after it. And as you can see, it takes off and gets way ahead of you very, very quick, but you follow the little sparkled dust trail that's left behind, and eventually it's going to be so far ahead of you that you lose that sparkle trail, and you're going to have to recast it. You cast it again, follow it again, and see where it goes, and eventually this thing will lead you to a secret door. And he's going to come around this corner here in just a second. You're going to see the door. When you go inside this door, now keep in mind, players that do not have this spell cannot see these doors. They cannot go into them. But you go into these doors and you have this very ancient room. There are tablets, or a tablet found in these things. And what's unique is you may find a complete intact stone tablet. That's what you see here. This one is 100% intact. Or you could possibly find 2, 3, 5 pieces across the world for a tablet. And you're going to be copying these spells, and that's what you're about to see here in just a second. So how do you copy these spells? It's done with paper and charcoal. Very, very cool system. Whenever they bring this up, it should come up here any second. And this is a very interactive system. Think of it as lock picking. Uses the same type of system. You're going to overlay the paper over the tablet, and you're going to rub the charcoal on the spell so that you can make a copy of it. When you make a copy of this thing, it's going to go into a portfolio that is beside of a spell. You'll see like a cloud with lightning coming off of it, or whatever that signifies lightning bolt, and there's another one that comes up here in just a second that you'll see, but that is the spell itself. That's the base spell, and that's very key for whenever I go into this next point. Let me pause or scroll down. Pop this back in. There you go. You can see different spells. This is Summon Flame Atronach there. The base spell, like I'm saying right there, is Lightning Bolt. You can see the Lightning Bolt over here, and the copy of the spell. You put this thing together so that you can learn it. So you've now learned what that spell is, but it's not just simply as, bam, I know how to do it. You need other things as well. And like I said, the base spell is done by exploration, just going around finding these secret doors, making the copy of the spells, and then you go into your crafting, spellcrafting system, which is coming up momentarily. You're going to have something called focus. So you got to have the base spell, and then you got to have the focus. Now think of focus as a morph. This is the system here. I'm going to pause this just so it doesn't get away from me. This is focusing. You have different things. You got base, ultimate, enduring, reduced cost, ritual, and AoE. Then you got just the spell itself. I think that's this one. This is the focus here. Sorry. And then this is the spell. Then this is the tablet. So what is focus? Let's look at this. This is AoE. That's what you see right here is AoE focus. So I've picked to put in Lightning Bolt is my spell that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to put AoE on it. This would make Chain Lightning. So by default, Lightning Bolt is just a single spell, boom, does a lightning bolt, hits them, deals damage. Now if I go into spellcrafting and I put AoE on this thing, now it becomes Chain Lightning and hits multiple targets. Or you could say, okay, I put AoE on Conjure Flame Atronach. New follower. What happens if you do Conjure Flame Atronach with AoE on it? Well, this is going to make you summon a Flame Atronach that will run around that has a fire aura around it. Okay, what about Enduring? What happens if I put Enduring on Summon Flame Atronach? That makes it a permanent pet. So you summon that Flame Atronach, it stays there permanently. It is your permanent pet. So that's just an example. Ultimate, that makes it like an ultimate ability. Reduce cost, reduces the cost of it. Ritual, I think, is related to healing, if I'm not mistaken. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the tablets. And there are multiple tablets in the game. This one is just a base tablet. There are things like marble, and there's rarer tablets that will improve the spell power of the spell, making it do more damage or more of an effect. And it does cost more stamina or magicka to cast the spell. So that cost will go up as you use higher grade tablets. Now, something immediately that Nick said, we're not going to be in danger of somebody just immediately making a spell that's like take all my mana to one-shot somebody. That's not going to happen. There's going to be checks and balances in it. So that's good. Jump forward a little bit here. That's pretty much the way that these spells are made. Now, these spells from spellcrafting that you make, you can trade them, you can use them, or you can sell them on like the auction house or whatever. So that's really cool stuff. Something that was not really clear, and I had to go back and listen to this, is learning of the spell. Okay, I've crafted this spell, but is it a one-time use like a scroll, or is it like a permanent ability to cast, or what? How does that work? And that's what I'm getting ready to go into now. This is really good information, so listen. When you make a spell from spellcrafting, you learn it, and then you can take that spell, and it's a permanent spell ability. So that lightning that does the chain lightning, I could drag that spell over to my bar. Like if it's in destruction, it will open up a skill tree that has passives in it for destruction spellcrafting, that school of destruction. And there's going to be other passive abilities inside of that tree whenever I learn my first destruction spell. Whenever I drop this spellcrafting spell into my active bar and start using it, it's going to level up the destruction tree so that I get better at using those destruction spells. Really good question right there. I'm going to grab that. Is spellcrafting a skill line? There will be skill lines with these spellcrafting schools, like destruction, alteration, illusion. All of these have a skill tree that has passive abilities in it. This right here, what you're looking at, is him using that crafted spell for the first time, just learning how to make that spell, and then he can drop this on his bar, like active bar, and have that spell to use in combat as a permanent spell. So that's digging real deep in there and getting a better understanding of how spellcrafting works. Now, a little bit later on in this, they go into another portion of using these things. Let me back that up right there, because he uses it so freaking quick that I about missed it. What a face. Alright, go. Go. I want to catch this before the armor so you can see the difference on this thing.
Technology.
Alright, here we go. Alright, you can see his armor here. Just black armor. You see the silver tints on it. Now watch what happens whenever he casts this Oaken Flesh spell that he learned. Boom. He starts turning into like oak. Really, really cool. So you can see that effect is on him. This is another one. I forget what they called it. It's muffle, I think is what they called it. And it basically makes you next to impossible to be detected. So really, really cool there. That is the conjuration. You're seeing summon Flame Atronach, summon familiar. So that's coming from conjuration. And then he puts up some kind of frost. I can't remember what he called it. It's like an armor. But that was different trees that you're seeing there from those different schools. So hopefully that gives you guys a really good understanding of spellcrafting that some of you may or may have not have missed. from the show yesterday. Last guy that took the table was Jared Carr. Jared Carr is the art director for Elder Scrolls Online, and he is the guy that's responsible for making this game look cool. This man, I can only imagine how much work he's put into this game. He got to take on some stuff like complaints from people. There's Jared Carr of what is ZeniMax doing about bugs and issues with combat responsiveness. This is a huge thing that a lot of people's been complaining about, and I complained about it myself lately. But it is an issue, and they acknowledge it. What are they doing to fix this stuff? And let's see if I can maybe find right here. Button responsiveness. They're working on audio cues, just that audio tone of whenever you use something, knowing that you just used it, as well as visually improving effects so it feels like tighter combat, things not lagging behind or just not really on cue where they should be. So that's some of the stuff that they're putting together. Also, they're working on priority of particle effects, like a healer casts something and that the particle's not going off. There's going to be a priority system that things that needs to be seen, that has to be seen, and prioritizing these particle effects. So that's something else that they're working on. Now, next thing that he went into is talking about these new armor types. And I told you that you would be seeing this stuff. These are some really, really cool armors. First up was the Cathingri, I guess. This is the Cathingri. This is an ancient race in the time period. Pretty much they was pretty much all wiped out. They're silver-skinned people that lived naked. So how do you do armor for somebody that lives naked? Yeah, they got some laughs out of people. But they basically made the armors and weapons in mind as ceremonial weapons. So whenever the people would go to a ceremony, they would wear these types of armors. So that's what you're looking at there. Next up, you've got the Morag Tong armors that should be coming up. I don't want to skip over this because it'd be really, it's coming up in just a few seconds. So that's the Cathingri that you're looking at there. This is Cathingri weapons and shields. This is the Morag Tong armor. You got light. This is a light shirt, light robe. Medium here in the third one, and then heavy on the far right. Then you're also going to have Morag Tong weapons and armors that come up after this. This is Morag Tong, daggers, swords, great swords. This is Dark Brotherhood, light, medium, and then heavy here on the far right. Then you also have the armors and weapons for Dark Brotherhood, very impressive looking stuff. Thieves Guild, this is light, medium, and heavy Thieves Guild armors. Thieves Guild armors and weapons, this is all the weapons. Glass armor, this is light, medium, and heavy. They start speeding up on me, trying to get away from me. Then you got weapons for glass weapons. This is high level PvP gear. Now something, I'm going to stop it there. High level PvP gear. This is Ebonheart pack gear that you're looking at right now. Each alliance will have its own set of PvP gear. This is light, medium, and heavy here. And DC will have their set, and AD will have theirs. And like I said, he called it high level PvP gear. Next up is going to be Undaunted. Undaunted. Go ahead and sing the song, I guess.
Say it 3 more times.
Right. Undaunted light, medium here in the third, and then heavy on the far end. And then something else that just floored me whenever this started coming up. I was like, really? Are you serious? I'm going to let this come up naturally. What the hell armor is that? I don't know what that is. It looks like some kind of a goat ram thing. But you're going to see something else come up. This is skinning. When you kill something, you can skin the monster Daedroth head. So you kill a Daedroth, wear it as armor. Grievous Twilight. That's the new looking guy. That is the Spider Daedra. That is Dwemer Spider Armor. And lastly, Harvester. All those big snake bosses. And this here is just the armors and weapon sculptures. This is a tool that they use to sculpt their armors and give it that realistic look. So this is just some of the armors that I've already went over and mentioned. This is the tool that they use them to develop these armors. And then you're also going to see some of these armors in game. The real stuff that's actually in game. And that's going to come up after this. It's just really, really cool to the tools that ZeniMax is using to get this level of detail with all these armors. And I think that's cool they showed that. This is the Dwemer armor. I think that is heavy, if I'm not mistaken. Right there's Dwemer light armor. And then I told you that you would see Imperial Daedric. There, right there it is. Imperial Daedric armor. That is heavy armor right there. That's what you're looking at currently. So really, really cool stuff coming up. Next thing he goes into is the Adventure Zone Murkmire. Let's go ahead and jump ahead here to Murkmire 116.14. Right there's the map of Murkmire. This is going to be located... No! I didn't tell you to go forward. Stop. Okay. There's the map of Murkmire. This is going to be located in Black Marsh. So that's in Ebonheart Pack territory. This is coming in a future update. No timeline on when this is coming. There's going to be a new NPC race called the Naga that's coming. All three alliances will share the Adventure Zone. Did I say what the name was of this place?
Murkmire?
Murkmire. Adventure Zone Murkmire. Just in case I didn't mention it. If I did, sorry for repeating myself. But there you go. That's what it looks like. It is shared by all three alliances. Looks like some kind of lava stuff, swamps, and a forest up here in the northern part. So it looks pretty cool. Much different from Craglorn, but along the same lines of Craglorn. Group content, things like that is what you're looking at with this. This is just some of the preview stuff that they put together for Murkmire. What I'm going to go to next is the live shots of Murkmire. That's just artwork for it. Let's go ahead and look at the real stuff. What does Murkmire look like? Right here you go. This is the current build, just basic lighting of Murkmire. No weathering or anything like that. This is what they've got in place currently for Murkmire. A lot of swamplands, and you can expect that from the Argonians, as they do live in the Black Marsh. So very swampy stuff. That's another new monster that's coming in Murkmire. I cannot remember the name of it, but like I said, it's in the video, and I will link the video in the stream and at the bottom of the YouTube channel for the people that's watching this on the replay. Lastly, the thing that Jared covered is a new solo PvE zone, and this is something that ZeniMax did talk about, that they was not just going to be bringing out nothing but group content, and they're keeping their promise with Wrothgar. Wrothgar is a solo PvE zone that they're coming out with. It's located in northwestern Skyrim, on the borders of Skyrim and High Rock. It's more High Rock than it is Skyrim, but where is it located? There you go, in the northwest. Right there is a map of it. This black mountain right here, that's Orsinium. That is Orsinium right up there, guys. In case you don't know the lore, what is Orsinium? That is where the orcs live. That's their home.
I thought it was a guy with a talk show. Orsinium Hall?
Could be. But this is just some of the artwork from Orsinium, or Wrothgar, I should say. Again, some of the stuff from Wrothgar. Right there is Orsinium artwork. But as always, just give me the looks. I just want to see the in-game stuff. I want to see the beauty. Let's do it. I didn't want to go that far forward. You're probably like, what the hell is that? That is a new troll big behemoth woman that's coming in. I can't remember what they called her, but yeah. She looks like she means business. Then you also have a couple of
giant.
right. Then you got a couple of ogres looking as Jared said, for their companions. I guess that's the term he used. And this is Orsinium. You're looking at Orsinium right now. And it looks very, very cool. It's really, really big. And Jared said that that's something that they're wanting to go towards, is more things that whenever you get into them, it looks like that these towns has been built over time and that they've been there forever type stuff, you know. And I think that first glimpse at this, it sells. I mean, it looks like it belongs there. It's not just something that came up overnight, and that's absolutely the way Orsinium needs to look, because that's the home of the orcs. That's where they've always lived whenever they came into the High Rock territory. That's where they fell back to. So, really, really awesome looking stuff coming out for the game in the future. When is all this going to deploy? You're looking at, you know, months over time. I mean, 1.4 is going to have some of this stuff in it. 1.5 is going to have it. 1.6. They never did give us any specifics as to, you know, how often these things are going to come rolling out. But that is just a glimpse, a look. Where is Elder Scrolls going? I mean, it really impressive stuff here. Basically what happens in the rest of this video, and I'm just going to pause it there. They take questions, basically. And I'm going to cover the questions that they went over, so we're just going to question and answer the rest of this out on the video, and then we're going to let you guys in the Twitch stream ask questions about what we've seen, and just do a question and answer in the stream right here, right now with you guys as well on what I just went over. So hope you guys took notes, and everybody, we got Crave, Brigand, Dubba, and Curse that's been in the channel, been watching the chat. If they've seen some questions, you know, I'm going to let those guys bring those in as well, and we'll answer this stuff as we go, and then we'll call it an episode, and then I'll try to come back for more streaming after this. Question answers from Quakecon. First thing, werewolves are in need of updates. Are there changes in place for werewolves? Nick Konkle answers, yes, absolutely. There are two phases of changes. For starters, we are going to be balancing the ultimate, decrease costs, increase damage, etc. In the second phase, we're going to add in more active abilities. So that right there is some changes coming to werewolves. Next question, who is the old man that appeared in the spellcrafting presentation? Nick answers, this is a special stonemason the Mage Guild has conscripted. There are some lore around it, and you can get his costume. So that costume you've seen him wearing, you can get it. What about a barbershop? Paul Sage answers, we like to introduce RP, which is role-playing, mechanics, where players can earn these and give them to each other. It is coming, just a question of how and when. So we will have barbershops. Awesome. Next question. When you steal, is the bounty timer based? Paul answers, if you incur a high bounty, you will remain kill on site until you pay the bounty. So there you go. If you rack up kill on site, you're going to have to pay for it. So there is very, very significant...
let the crime come in.
Yeah. If you want to be a thief, if you want to be a murderer, you're going to have to pay for it. So I think it's good. Next question was, why do some quests get broken from one patch to another? Rich Lambert answers this one. He says, tons of moving parts. When we fix a quest in one area, it won't work every time under all conditions or loads. So, yeah, I mean, just imagining the amount of coding that's sitting behind this game.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah, I mean,
zillions of code.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, again, guys, just to stress it, if you find something that's broke, report it. Just tell them where it's broke at and give them as much information as possible. You know, I mean, that's what we can do to try to help things as we move along. Next question comes in. It says, when are the new facial animations coming? Jesse answers this one. He's the coding guy, if you remember. He says it's unknown at this point. The technology is there. It is in production. Issues due to all the dialogues. Probably months of additional work. We can't commit to a time period at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, you've seen the big overhaul changes coming. That was just a preview of it. But you can imagine 120,000 lines of dialogue that they've got to go back and remap all of these things on all these characters. all the NPCs in the world, all of it has to be done. So, I mean, you're looking at a lot of time there, and they have a team that is dedicated to doing that. So, big props there. I mean, it's a very minor thing, but it means so much to the immersion. Next question. Plan on adding dueling features? Paul answers, dueling systems sound simple, but it's not very simple. There are a lot of things to consider. When the justice system is in place, maybe we can get it in place. So the justice system coming in is going to allow for that open world, just everywhere PvP. You know, somebody's a thief and you go to, you know, take them out for it. That gives that PvP aspect in the world type thing. Let's see. Next question. What are the future plans for the PvP system? Brian Willer, he answers this one. He says, Imperial City coming, more gear, figuring out how to continue to progress your character, more consumables to use. So that was future of PvP. Next question is, when will we see mini games? Matt answers, horse racing, better fishing systems. We will reserve it until we have more information. So horse racing was something that was mentioned, and I know that they've been wanting to improve the fishing system, so that's good things. Very simple question. New crafting motifs? Yes. That was from Paul Sage. Just a simple yes. Next, plans for stamina builds to compare with Magicka builds. This is a very hot topic, and Nick Konkle attacks this one. He says, medium armor already have stamina reductions. Some stamina weapon abilities will get damage boosted, doing some balance between spell crit and weapon crit. For ultimates, it will pick to see the higher of the weapon speed or spell attack speed. Next question says, plans for role players in the future. Paul answers and says, justice system, guild traders, and just an ongoing effort over time. Next thing, respec costs are too damn high. There was no damn in there, but I just felt like saying it. Nick Konkle says, for the first week of Update 3, we will make respec extremely cheap. 100 gold is example he gave. After that, we will reduce the respec cost by 25%. We will also add in respec just for your morphs that is really cheap. 100 times cheaper than full respec. Next question. PvPers have an advantage in PvE content, i.e. PvP passives. What are you doing about it? Nick answers, we don't have any specific changes, but we will look into it. Paul chimed in. He says, we don't want this game to be one where if you are good in PvE, you can't do PvP. So they want to keep it balanced where you can go do both and without feeling like you have to dial in on a specific set of gear or whatever. Plans to discourage Emperor trading. This is a very hot topic as well. Brian Willer answers it and says they're going to be condensing the amount of the campaigns from 10 down to 5. That's coming with Update 3. I just chimed that one in there, but continuing on his quote, condensing amount of campaign changes from 10 to 5. We are increasing the amount of alliance points needed to become Emperor. They're going to be increasing it from 10,000 alliance points to 50,000 alliance points in order to become Emperor. They're adding faster decay on siege weapons. And they're adding in a 3-day lockout in home and guest campaign switches. So that's some pretty good steps in trying to prevent Emperor trading. Next, and the last question is, are the spell tomes consumable? Can you make stamina abilities? Nick says yes, they are consumable. We have other plans for stamina abilities, and we have a spell you can use to gain stamina, Magicka to stamina. So that right there is your recap of the Quakecon 2014 ESO Future of ESO panel. I think I've done pretty good. What was that, about an hour and 15 minutes?
Condensed version.
Yeah.
He did say that they had other plans for stamina abilities. I missed that part, I guess.
His answer... Run it by me one more time, sorry. Talking about the Magicka to stamina?
Yeah.
You said he had his answer was they had other plans for stamina abilities, like introducing new stamina abilities.
Oh, the spell tomb's consumable, and it ties in. We have other plans for stamina abilities, but we have a spell you can use to gain stamina, magic to stamina.
No, we have other plans for stamina abilities that I missed.
Let me find this thing. Hold on.
I believe you.
I don't trust you.
I know I said it. Let's see. Plans for stamina builds to compare with magicka builds. Is that it?
No, it was what you just said. With the final question is where you said his answer was we have other plans for stamina builds, and that I missed that part when he said it, but that's interesting.
Oh,
because it means spellcrafting itself obviously means you're not going to be crafting stamina abilities. However, since they do have plans for those kind of abilities, that's good to know.
Yeah. He did say we have other plans for stamina abilities. That was the way that he started off. I mean, the question was in direct to spell tombs being consumable, and can you make stamina abilities? And he answered that yes, they're consumable, and then he goes on to say we have other plans for stamina abilities, but we have a spell that can use to gain stamina, magicka to stamina. All right, you had a question?
Curse.
He said he had a question and he got quiet.
Yeah, here's one for you. Now, with the spell crafting, is this going to nullify the need for skill lines?
Oh, not even close, I wouldn't think.
I hope not.
See, that's going to be the thing. That's what's going to be interesting, is because they've not said anything like special, and I know I talked about this earlier before I went on stream, is there's no restrictions really of these spellcrafting spells. I mean, once you learn them, you can put that spell on your ability bar. I mean, you could fill your bar up with these spellcrafting spells, and that's it. That could be all of your spells. That's kind of where my concern is, and I want more information about that system is, what's going to prevent from things being so driven towards spells that it's like, if you're not using a spell, then you're wrong. And it's going to come in with what they're saying about other plans for stamina abilities. I mean, they're going to have to do something to promote the use of stamina. So, yeah, I mean, there is a concern there, is the simple fact that there's no restriction of other than being able to purchase the spell from a spellcrafter who has made the spell and consume it, and then you got the skill line for the destruction tree unlocked. You can get those passives, start using that spell, get better at it, go buy more spells, and you could fill up your bar completely with those spellcrafting spells. Absolutely.
Yeah, on the other hand, in order to be a spellcrafter, you have to at least do the Mage's Guild quest, which I just finished it underleveled, and I was level 38, 39 when I did it. And like I said, I was underleveled. So you're going to be about level 40 to finish out this Mage's Guild quest and unlock spellcrafting.
Right.
However, is there a level requirement for the spells crafted?
I think that the restriction's going to come in on the power of the spell. It's going to be, do you even have enough magicka to cast this spell? I think it was Oblivion I did that. Was Finger of the Mountain or something like that spell? That you could make this thing like ungodly powerful, and it was just boom. But if you didn't have the mana, you ain't casting it. Period. And
Morrowind,
I think
the spellcrafting in Morrowind was bad for that too. You'd craft a spell and shit, I can't even cast it.
Exactly. And I think that that's probably where a lot of the spellcrafting is going to go. Is you want to make this legendary badass spell, you better hope you got the mana for it. That's going to be one aspect of it. Question is how much magicka, mana, whatever. Magicka.
Two different games.
I'm telling you, I'm going to get so much hate mail from the Elder Scrolls fan. There is other questions that's coming into the stream that I'm going to get here in just a second. But yeah, that is a concern, is what's going to be to throttle you back from casting these big spells. And I think that's probably going to be where we see it come from. And also, guys, in the Twitch stream, the main points are covered. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask. I want to grab one that came in from Akira. Will the Dark Brotherhood be in there to join? Yes. Dark Brotherhood will come in. You will be able to join the Dark Brotherhood, and we don't know the details of what all you can do in the Dark Brotherhood.
Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood are coming in future.
Yes. Now, for you guys, Crave, Brigand, Dubba, Curse, was there questions that was asked that I need to address during the episode?
Nope.
No, I answered the ones that I could, and a lot of the other people in the stream also knew answers. So I don't think there were any questions that were actually missed.
Awesome. Am I going to be around? Yes. I'm going to be bound. Are you? What's going to be bound?
We got to get a group in the PvP. These guys are just nuts.
Gemaleo, I'm not sure what you're saying. They're going to be bound. The spells themselves aren't bound. Once you craft them, you can trade them to other players.
Yes, that was something Nick did say, that you can trade, sell on the auction house, guild stores, whatever, give them to somebody if you wanted to, but they're one-time consumable uses, and once you've consumed them, then it will open up that tree. Like the first time that you use a consumable spell that's been crafted in spellcrafting, like destruction, it's going to unlock the destruction passives, and those passive abilities will help you get better at destruction. So what are they? We don't know. Question from Shadow Spawn. This is a really, really good question. So do you get bounty for killing someone with a bounty on them?
Yeah.
In theory.
I don't know.
Because you're working for the guards. Technically, you're working for the good of the legal system. You're kind of
I think
deputized.
Once someone becomes a kill on site, you're able to kill them without, people coming after you. Then you're helping the guards in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, they made the comments of you're going to be able to see bounties that are high and things like that. So I'm guessing, again, this is not confirmed, I'm guessing that there's going to be something that you're going to act on it, and you may just be able to go kill them. I don't know if you have to pick up a bounty or something, and then it's like, hey, this person just signed on, you can start looking for them, or what. I don't know how that's going to work, but
there's a lot of details still to be released.
There's a lot of gray there, a lot.
Like, for example, if they run up a bounty in Riften, can I kill them in Stonefalls? For example, there's a lot of little details they've still got to release. Jamie Leo had another question for you, Defa. What do you think of the passive examples that they gave for the champion system?
I think that they're really good additions. They don't need to be necessarily making your active abilities so much stronger, because that right there could be problematic. I think they're going about it the correct way by attacking these passives and increasing, crit, sneaking, things like that, or whatever. That's where they need to be with it. But buffing these active abilities largely with the champion system could be problematic. And so I think it's good that they're going with the passive system. And I mean, it's going to introduce new passives as well. So that's going to just add for better combat, more mixture of combat. There was a question I seen. Nap, will there be thievery skill line for new justice system? Thieves Guild will have skill lines. Who do I like better, Curse or Crave? Yes?
Yes, we're both pretty goddamn awesome.
Potato, have a question.
It's
if you become...
It's sex appeal. We both got big dicks.
Potato asks, if you become a vampire/werewolf, what happens to you? Can you become a normal human again? Can you change into werewolf after you were a vampire? You can only be one or the other. You can choose to be neither, and if you choose to be one or the other, you can pay to have the effects removed.
No, you stuck. It's like an STD, motherfucker. It's yours.
Nap,
Happy
did you hear my answer for the thieves skill line, Thieves Guild skill line. There should be a Thieves Guild skill line. It's just like Undaunted or whatever. It's just another guild, and those have
I want necromancy
skills
and
in it.
skill.
Dakar, what if you randomly attack another player? Will it be possible? I don't think randomly attacking people is going to be possible. It's just going to be the people with the bounties, the large bounties, kill on sight bounties.
You have to think of the justice system like a flag system of other MMOs. Like you're not PvP enabled unless you break the law.
Right.
And you've essentially flagged yourself as available for PvP because you broke the law.
Any other questions that you guys would like to ask in regards to the Quakecon 2014? I said that I would put the link in chat, so here you guys go.
I put the link in earlier too.
That is the link that I used watching and got all the notes and stuff. That's a full replay of QuakeCon 2014. There's more information in there that, you know, I didn't really go over all that much, but I got the meat and potatoes out of what you really, really need to know. That's what I feel like you need to know. And, you know, if you want to go back and nitpick into every little thing that they've said, you know, you can do that. But I did get a lot of what they said.
Somebody's going to do it. Hey, you know when he twitched his eye when somebody asked him that question? I think that meant, yeah.
Yellow Enza, that is the video. That's the full replay. That was captured by ESO Net, Elder Scrolls Net, or something like that. Is who done that?
Yeah.
Anywho,
Lanham also linked up the entire thing on his YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, there's not many full videos out there of that thing. ZeniMax said they was going to put it up on their channel. I've not seen it yet, so.
I think they were waiting until their stuff today was done too. They're going to put them all on there.
Yeah, trying to deal with that convention Wi-Fi.
Plus the 2 tournaments.
All right. Yeah, let's wind up. ESO recapped. This has been a huge episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just really, really awesome information out there to cover, and I'm really, really psyched about the future stuff coming for Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, it's just the stuff in 1.3. I was like, yes, you're going in the right direction. You're going good. Keep going in this direction. And then they dropped this, you know, and I was like, oh my God. Just, we went from like baby steps to man on the moon. I wouldn't say that much, but big, big stuff coming. We're definitely going in the right direction with this game. And, you know, what can I say? I called it. Back in the beta. Give this game 6 months to a year. We'll be good.
Oh yeah, and we said it when this game came out. We love the building blocks this game was based on. We didn't expect everything to be perfect right out the gate, but we love the basic foundation of the game, and we love where it's going.
Yeah, I even said it. I'm someone who left not at the beginning, but I left kind of early. But I've come back, and I'm so happy where this game is now, and I love playing this game every day again, and I can't wait for some of the future stuff.
Yep. Question from Nap: are you going to do PvP? Yes, I think we can get some PvP in. And
well,
then
we better, because apparently we're getting our asses kicked.
Then after that, we'll see about trying to get these game time cards handed out. It was an awesome night so far. I mean, no need to stop now. I'm going to shut the stream down to end episode number 27 of ESO Recapped. Again, I appreciate everybody in the Great Architect community that tuned in, helping me keep an eye on the chat and stuff. Thank you guys very, very much for doing that. Everybody that's in the live stream, thank you guys for tuning in to the episode. Don't go anywhere because the stream will come back up. We're going to see if we can get in there and do some PvP, get some shit straightened up. And, yeah, just sit tight. I'll be right back. If you guys want any more information about Elder Scrolls Online, visit elderscrollsonline.com for more information. If you want information about the Great Architect gaming community, visit greatarchitect.us. We have multiple guilds in the community that are ran by, you know, people in the community. I run the Great Architect Guild. Got Cursets in here that runs Messiah Complex. They focus a lot on the raiding side of stuff, the trials. we got a trading guild that's in there, just all kinds of stuff. A lot of fun for you guys, and we'd love to have you all in the community. Go ahead and head over to the website greatarchitect.us, get signed up, join us in TeamSpeak, hang out. Love to have you all in there. That's going to do it for tonight.
PvP. We got
That's
too many
right.
stupid people. Come on.
Throw me an invite.
That's going to do it for the episode 27, guys. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Be right back for some more streaming, and